I'm back. With these videos, again, I have no theme. It's just whenever I can have the energy for. And oh, I guess like you can tell my hair is a little bit purple. One of my really good friends, she's really good at doing hair. She's not a professional hairstylist. She just looked through YouTube videos and apparently, and then I wonder, I don't really like bright lighting because I feel like you see a lot of detail. But here, he'll brighten a little bit. I don't know if you can see. But she did a really good job. I know this sounds gross to some people, but I haven't washed it once yet. I'm about to after probably this video, but I wanted to record this today because who knows if I will actually post this. Again, this is for a challenge for myself, me, myself, and I, so I can look back at it someday. And if anyone who happened to fall into my accidental YouTube channel and wants to watch this and feels, I don't know, something that connected and whatnot, that's great. If not, welcome and goodbye. But that's the theme that I wanted to talk about right now is feeling enough. And it's something that one of the things that I've been really focusing on is how to achieve that feeling, because majority of my relationships with people, whether that is family, friends, romantically, it was always like, I don't think I'm enough. And feeling that, like how I am now, I'm super grateful where I am now that I don't feel that way anymore. Like I know I am enough, but there are some parts of me of like, am I doing enough all the time? Like, especially when it comes to the people who I love, especially people around me, like my friends. I feel like I'm not doing enough, or am I being a good friend? Like, I think that's the fear of an abandonment part of me of that freaks out, being like, if I'm not gonna do it now, people are gonna leave me. But then there's a part of me of like, if people don't like me, they don't like me, which I didn't have that mindset until recently. Like, I think starting to own myself helped me realize like, people don't like me, they don't like me, and they don't have to be with me. And if they don't understand my value, that's okay. And I think that's because I realize I'm saying that to other people, and now I'm able to embrace that a little bit more for myself. I'm starting to believe it. And it's been, I mean, you can't compare people's journey short and long of self-growth, but I think, I mean, it's been a very shorter journey for me of recognizing that for myself. But I do still feel like when it comes to especially friends, that feeling of enough. And I feel like many of you, if not, don't worry about it, of course, but if you do have that feeling that you don't feel like you're enough to people, know that you are. You're plenty. And if you feel a certain distance from people, or you feel like, if you feel like you're not doing enough, most likely you are. If you never question that, you probably aren't. If that makes sense. I don't know. Because I know there are some people who think, I think the value or the balance of humbleism, is that the word? Being humble and being confident, I guess, when it comes to just actions. There's a lot of different type of mindsets that I think helps to achieve a good maintaining a relationship with others, meaning relationship with yourself. But I realized when a way to communicate with people and easy to get along with is people who are very respectful and humble, and people who are also owning themselves. Confidence is very much so compared by other people. Like, sure, there are some days that you feel confident than more other days. If you feel that 90% of the time or 100% of the time, good for you. But for people who don't, like me, like, it's like you have to practice. Everything's a practice, right? So you just have to practice and achieve it in your own ways, in your own pace, and knowing what that pace it is for you can be a little bit difficult. But I realize people who are more respectful and humble means that they know where they stand. And it doesn't mean fake. It doesn't mean to be fake kind. It's not like customer service, you know, you're always smiling, customer is always right. That's not the thing. It's like more kind of like of when it comes to communication, it's like you know where your pace is at, and you don't overly show yourself, if that makes sense. People who overly show themselves is usually, you know, they don't feel loved. And so they want to feel loved, that they basically did their own self-promoter. I can't speak for all people, but that's just my own observations of other people around me, or not just around me, but people who I've heard through other people. And it's really interesting to see that. And also people who are not getting along with others is people who don't respect others. And it's like a respect, it can be certain, I think I understand a certain way of respect through my culture of Japanese culture. Even though I grew up here, I think the respect idea of in Asia can be sometimes too much, but it's very much so there. Respecting not just to elderly, but to each other and surroundings. With sometimes that means like you worry too much what other people think. It can be misconceived that way and use it that way too much, but that boundary, that mai, it's like the ma in Japanese, ma is like that space. And I think I have to reflect back on my Japanese again, but the ma'ai, like that part of having that certain distance, that certain space. It doesn't mean to be parts, it just means to have that certain respect of that space that you have in between with that person. And that's not just physically, but emotionally and your mind, where you're at, if that makes sense. And I've noticed that with me, I get frustrated when people feel uncomfortable about me, if that makes sense. Like, I get frustrated when my friends are sad, or when my friends are feeling like they can't, like if I hear from another person that they were worried about me or something, I get frustrated because it's like I thought I was being open enough to have that conversation, but I do have still that part of me that gets ticked off or frustrated. I don't mean to bark or bite, but I know that my speech can sometimes be a little bit harsh, and I'm really trying to be working on that. It's kind of a habit through my childhood and how how it was spoke to. But like at the same time, like I have a consciousness to replace that into a different habit, and I know I have the power to do it, and I'm practicing do it. And even though it feels really difficult and hard to change that or replace that habit, I know I can do it. And I know that I can, I know that I can get through that, and I know better to replace it. But it's just that feeling of, am I enough, came upon to me again today. And it's like, you are enough. Don't worry about that. But I think I need to understand that people's worry is because they care. And I do that too. I realize I do talk to friends too much or overly explain myself, or you know, becomes a lecture because I care too much, because I'm talking from fear. And I realize it's because I have fear in myself. I don't fully trust myself yet. And oh no, I have a sneeze coming. Yeah. Whew. I feel like another one's coming. Another one bites the dust. Maybe not. Maybe not. Woo! Is someone talking about me? I'm just kidding. I have so much allergies. But anyways, I guess that feeling of, I guess my sneeze is just out of my brain. But I guess overall with this message today to myself and to whoever feeling like they're not enough, just know that you are. Even though you don't feel that way, just keep telling yourself that. Look in your mirror, dance it out, and that you're loved. That's why people care or worried about you. And if you feel like no one's worried about you or care about you, no need to cause extra worries about it, right? So if you're worried about others, worry about yourself. If you're worried about yourself, don't worry about it. Which is easier said than done. I know that's super hypocrite because I do that, but I do believe to practice again, we're all growing together. I make a lot of mistakes and I know I am very harsh on myself. And I think people who are more trying to be respectful and people who are trying to make an effort of it are more, I think, aware of it, hopefully. And I'm trying to be more aware and trying to, I'm really trying to not say fix it because I feel like when you say fix it, it sounds like you're broken. I'm broken. Oh no, the table. That's a TikTok reference. But I do believe, anyways, like that feeling of what I do recently is, of course, if you want to hit people up, for sure, do that. But what can a way to be more sustainable to go forward, not on constantly relying on people, but with myself, is I lay down, as cheesy as it looks, like I lay down and I hug myself and tell my body I did such a good job that day. And before, it was really hard for me to do that, not just emotionally but physically. I mean, with my eczema, I just couldn't wrap my arms ever. I was always a very flexible person, but then I couldn't anymore because my eczema hurt so bad. That's a different story. But literally just holding yourself and doing good job. You can pat yourself, holding yourself, like you be your own first lover, basically. Like it's goes back to, if you want to give more love to others, do that for yourself. If you, that is with anything, I think, as much as other people are a reflection of yourself, which is not everyone, but if you do feel a certain emotion to someone, you're probably feeling that for yourself. If you're feeling anger to someone, you're probably angry at yourself for something. And you can lash out into people, whether that is someone is hurting someone else. That can be frustrating, but I realize people get frustrated at others. It's because they're doing something and either you can't do anything about it, or you feel like you can't do anything about it, or you're not at that situation, or you wish you were there. It's that frustration or sadness. It's not just anger. I realize, I think anger is a very momentarily thing, but there's so much that builds up to it, whether that is sadness or care. If you don't care, nothing to be mad of. People get mad because they care, and people get sad because they care, whether that is about yourself or other people. That's just my observations, but yeah, I think before I really didn't feel like I was enough, so I do question that to other people. But now it's just like, if I questioned it myself, if you truly believe that you don't think you're enough, like I was literally until a year ago, do you still want to feel that way? Like, do you want to feel that rest of your life? If so, of course, continue. But if not, what do you want to do to change about it? And for me, was because I had people in my life, I want them to know that I care. But in order to know them to care, I gotta do that too for myself. As much as that sounds cliche or hypocritical or self-centered, you really can't give to people if you don't have anything. That's what I think fake comes from. I think that's what surface level words, not, you know, comes from, because there's a certain way that you can act to do it, but in order to keep going without burning out, everything has a ending, everything has a beginning. But if you want to continuously do it as long as you can to pace yourself, like a marathon, like to pace yourself, it's definitely to know where that is for you. And then naturally, if people want that, whatever you have, then you're able to give, that's great. But you don't need to give to other people. People would just come and take it no matter what. But all you got to do is focus, like restocking every day. People are going to grocery stores. People always take stuff at grocery store, buy stuff all the time because you have it. If you don't have it, they just go somewhere else. So you're your own expensive, luxurious grocery store, and all you gotta focus is to restock yourself. And sometimes you want to keep it to yourself, and that's okay. No need to be sold. But it's kind of like filling your own cup. Like, just keep focusing on filling your cup. Or another phrase is keep watering your plant. You're a beautiful plant. You need oxygen. You need, some plants don't need sun, but you know, it's a little, whatever your body feels the most. You have your own unique plant, and each plant has a different needs. Sunlight or water or oxygen or temperature, you know, it's different. So you're just as same. There's no, just focus on that growth to you, and naturally it'll grow out to other people as well. I hope that it made sense. I know I look like probably really tired. But if you watch this, let me know how you felt. If not, Yuki, you fucking got this. So cringy. But anyways, if you listen, thank you again for listening. I appreciate you. For you. Love you.